What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video, and in today's video we are going to be starting a little mini series that I'm going to be doing here on the channel, and it's going to be starting with Spider-Man PlayStation 4 or Spider-Man Remastered, going all the way until Spider-Man 2. We are going to be ranking every suit from every game, from my favorite to my least favorite. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alrighty, so coming in at number 45, we have the Undies suit. Now, you don't even need any explanation for why this suit is last place. He's naked. It's not even a Spider-Man suit. He's just naked. Stupid funny joke. It's the level 1, like, it's not the level 100, but the final level suit that you get, which is a terrible reward for a suit, and it's just, I will never be caught using this suit ever. Coming up at number 44, we have the bombastic Bagman suit. So this is like the Fantastic Four suit with the bag on his head. The Fantastic Four suit is a cool look, but the bag on the head just isn't doing it for me, man. And sorry if I'm looking up. I'm looking at the suit as I'm talking to you guys, just so I can have like a clear reference. The Fantastic Four suit's a cool design. It's sleek. It's cool, but the bag on the head really isn't doing it for me. Again, this is another suit I just couldn't picture myself swinging around the city and having a good time with it. I've never used it. I never will use it. Yeah, it's just, again, the suit itself's cool, but the bag on the head is just too much for me. Next up on this list, we have the Wrestler suit. This is a very, very ugly suit, and the only reason I don't have it last is because it's purposely ugly. It's meant to be ugly on purpose. Right, you got this ugly red turtleneck with this blue mask and these red eyes. This is supposed to be like the Tobey Maguire wrestling. Yeah, it's obviously inspired by Tobey's wrestling suit. I feel like they could have done a better job with it. It's a really ugly suit. He's got that, again, that wrestler style mask. There's nothing good about this suit whatsoever. It is just plain ugly. The only reason, again, I have it over the other two is because it's not purposely ugly. Or it's not accidentally ugly, it's purposely ugly. You know, it's meant to be. So, coming in at number 42, we have the Noir suit. Now, this is another suit that utilizes the turtleneck, and it just looks bad. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of suits, like superhero suits without their main logo right on the front. Same goes with Batman, Superman, whoever the character is. If they don't have their main logo on the front, it is definitely going to affect how I rank the suit. And that's one of the biggest reasons for this. Also, the mask is very ugly and awkward looking. The goggles, man, this sweater. It's a very ugly suit. I mean, he's got a gun. Like, obviously, I know these are things that are accurate to the comics, but out of all the Noir suits, this is definitely the ugliest one. Very just ugly suit, in my opinion. I like the utility belt to an extent, but everything else, from the pinstripe pants to the fishnet stocking boots to these oversized gloves with the turtleneck sweater and the goggles and this leather vest jacket thing he's got going on with a big goofy collar, just isn't doing it for me, man. With the gun, like, yeah, it's just not a very pleasant suit to look at. Next up on this list, we have the electrically insulated suit. This suit is so ugly. It's got like this poofiness to it. And the spider logo is very bad. It doesn't even look like a spider. I don't know what they were thinking on that spider logo. The eyes are oddly shaped, in my opinion. And nothing about it just screams Spider-Man to me. It's just not a very pleasant suit. The color scheme is terrible. I don't know what they were thinking with some of these suits, putting them in the game. This is one of those filler suits that just feels like it was thrown in just for the sake of having more suits. Like, why are we getting suits like this when we could have been getting, like, the TASM 2 suit or, you know, the black suit? I understand they wanted to try to save, like, maybe the black suit for Spider-Man 2, but they could have, like, chose so many better-looking designs, and they just went with some of the ugliest ones. And this is no exception. This is just an ugly suit. There is almost no redeemable qualities about this suit. Um, yeah, man, this is just it's a bad suit. Again, I wouldn't be caught dead swinging through the city with this thing on. Next up on this list, we have the Spider Armor Mark III. Now, this feels much more like an Iron Man suit than it does a Spider-Man suit. It's got, like, the jetpack on the back. It's got, like, all this armor everywhere. It's this red and black color. I don't mind the spider logo. I like how it goes over the shoulders, which I think is pretty cool. Not a fan of those eyes. The helmet thing, it's just a step too far into Iron Man for me, man. Like, we already have 2 Iron Spider suits in this game. We don't need another. The eyes aren't doing it for me. It's a bit of a turn off, the suit with the eyes. And again, it's just a step too far into Iron Man for me. Like, I don't want to be flying around and, like, if you're going to give me an Iron Spider suit, or like a armored Spider-Man suit, I want it sleek looking. I don't want these big armor paddings everywhere, big shoulder pads, big wrist gauntlets, crouch piece that, like, sticks out an inch. Like, it's so extra that it doesn't need to be. Again, this just feels like another filler suit. This is literally the 3 of the 4 armored suits that are in this game, and it's the worst one. Mainly because of the eyes. I think that's really what the main turnoff is for me. But I understand they were trying to do something unique and different with the suit. Next up on this list is another sort of armored suit. It's got this metallic finish. But another suit where the eyes are just a huge turnoff, and that is the Resilient suit. I am not a fan of really squinty eyes on a Spider-Man mask. I like really wide eyes. So, like, we're talking Amazing Spider-Man 2, Andrew type of eyes. I've always been a big fan of those big eyes. I feel like it just adds so much more character to him. When the eyes are so squinted, it just looks like he's given a weird face. It's funny for, like, an animated suit, perhaps, but not for, like, a badass suit like this. Overall, though, it's not a terrible suit, to be honest with you. I do like the metallic finish to it. The spider logo is pretty cool. I like how it extends around the entire body, even though I feel like that's more of a Venom thing. This suit does also give me vibes of the upgraded suit, or the main suit in the game, which is fine. But those eyes, man, they're just not fully doing it for me. And it's just not recognizable enough. I think it's, again, a step too far into Crazy Town for my liking. Isn't terrible by any means. I would definitely see myself, from this point on, I could see myself wearing these suits. But it's not the prettiest suit. Next up on this list, we have the Aaron Aikman suit. This suit is another one of those really armored suits. But I really like the eyes on this suit and the spider logo. I hate the feet. They're just huge. Like, why are they so big? But the spider, like, the eyes are not bad looking. They give me some Tobey Maguire vibes, but they're bigger. And the logo is sick on this suit. I don't care what anyone says. That is a sick logo. It really just feels like he's wearing, like, a motorcycle suit with just big armor plating all over it. If this suit didn't have a really good spider logo and good eyes, it would probably be a lot lower on this list. I don't mind it though. I think it's a decent design. Again, it just really looks like he's wearing it's a motorcycle outfit with extremely big armor. Like, and the feet is where the really big turnoff is. Like, I don't know why his feet are huge. Like, he's got rocket boosters on the end of his feet. But the eyes and the sweater logo on the suit, and the color is very nice too. It really saves this suit for me. So that's why I put it here. Next up on this list, we have the Velocity suit. This is another suit that has really bad eyes, man. Those are not Spider-Man eyes. I don't know what the hell you want to call them. But I really like the matte, sleek, stealth armored finish. It looks very, very cool. I am a huge fan of, again, that sleek armor design. But, man, those eyes are a really bad turnoff. But another reason I put this high, it really reminds me of Red Hood, which in a way, is kind of a bonus with the eyes, because the eyes make him feel more like Red Hood than he does a Spider-Man. Really get a lot of Red Hood vibes from this, which is cool because Red Hood's one of my favorite characters, and so just getting to see him, see an outfit that looks very similar to his in this game is actually kind of cool. Obviously, it's not meant to look like Red Hood, but it does give me some Red Hood vibes, which is definitely a reason it's a lot higher on this list. But if we're ranking it from like a Spider-Man standpoint, those eyes are awful. They're god awful. But aside from that, the rest of the suit's pretty okay. Coming in at number 36, we have the Spirit Spider. This suit is fine. It's just a little too plain for my liking. It's just the human anatomy with this really stretched look. You got the skull on top, which is cool. We get the flame. I just wish there was a little bit more to it. The spider logo, I'm not a huge fan of. It's really like stringy and just ugh. I do like the flames, and again, the skull looks pretty cool. It's a different suit. I will never wear it, probably. I know I said from like every suit a few back on to now I would wear. This one may be the only exception. Just because the blue flames look like they would get in the way. It's just a cool design suit. And it's different. It stands out, and I like something different as long as it's not too ridiculous. Next up on this list, we have the Spider Armor Mark II. Now, if I recall correctly, this suit was also in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game from a few years, from like 10 years ago. I used to play that game all the time as a kid, and I just thought that game was actually the best Spider-Man game back then. I only had ever played the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 games, so I didn't really know. I believe this suit was in that, though. This suit's fine. Once again, the eyes, though, man. Like, why are the eyes extending around the entire head? They're so thin. I do like the sleek black and gold design, though. And the spider logo's cool. I like how it's really dramatic it is. It extends across the entire body. It's something different. But that helmet, man, ain't doing it for me. If you just had regular Spider-Man eyes that are gold, this suit would be great. I do get a little Batman vibes from this. Not because it looks like Batman, just because of the color. But this isn't a bad suit by any means. It's definitely a suit I would rock once in a while. Because I'm a very particular person. So when I play this game, when I go back to free roam every now and then, I wear only like 2 to 3 different suits. This is just how I am. I don't really use a wide variety, but I would use this suit. The collar looks a little don't know how I feel about that. Aside from that, though, it is a sleek, clean look. Next up on this list, we got the Arachnid Rider suit. Now, the reason I stick it this high, because, first of all, this suit is way too over-designed. This suit is ridiculously over-designed. But the reason I'm putting it this high is just for the simple fact I like the cel-shaded look of it. It's not a bad look. If that's what you even want to call it, cel-shading, I don't really... My terminology isn't really up to date with like the graphics of it all, but it's just a really over-designed suit though, and that's kind of my main issue with it. I do like the bright red and blues. I think it's a cool look. I don't mind the eye shapes; they're fine. With all the spikes and everything, it almost gives me like Shredder vibes. It's just a little too over-designed, man. Like there's just so much going on, and yeah, not the biggest fan of this suit. Next up, we get the Secret War suit. Now, this is a very back-to-basics look compared to all the other looks we've had. It's basically the 2018 suit. It's basically the classic Spider-Man suit from this game, except with a different color scheme and slightly different logo and everything. First off, this is one of the ugliest color schemes I've ever seen. This is just another one of those suits that feels so freaking filler. It just feels like they went, all right, let's just throw in a classic-looking Spider-Man suit, and we'll give it some red, some blue, and black, and we'll just do that. There you go. It's just a weird color scheme that does not match whatsoever. First of all, I wish the webbing would have continued throughout the entire suit, and not just certain areas. Again, the blue doesn't work. You should have just made the webbing blue. Also, the back logo is very strange. I don't know how I feel about it. It almost has this, like, rubber plastic look. I do like the front logo, though. I'll give it that. The mask, the eyes are very good. And I just like how, just, you know, it's just a classic-looking design for the most part. Just the color scheme just isn't doing it for me. It's a very weird, out of this, you know, just wacky color scheme. Next up on this list, I don't know if this will be a controversial one, but we have the homemade suit from Spider-Man Homecoming. This suit obviously has some really heavy Scarlet Spider inspiration. I don't like the socks. The socks are just too much. It's like, I get it, it's a homemade suit, but why the socks, man? I don't like his head shape either. He's got a weird head shape. I hate the spider logo. But overall, though, for a homemade suit, it's definitely the best out of all the live-action homemade suits. Probably out of all the homemade suits ever. It's pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about the eyes. It's just the plain circular eyes. They're fine, I guess. But that's pretty much the reason I rank it so high. As homemade suits go, it's cool. Wish we could have gotten a back emblem. I guess they just never chose. I didn't even realize that wasn't there in the films, to be honest with you. But the really turn off for me is that spider logo, man. It's kind of like that original Spider-Man where it almost looks like an ant and not even a spider. I think they could have done a better job with the spider logo on it. And then this. But overall, it's a decent enough suit. Again, definitely the best out of homemade suits. Next up on this list, we got the Last Stand suit. This suit is interesting. I always see Tobey Maguire's head photoshopped onto this suit. I don't know why. My guess is because it's like an older Spider-Man. The spider logo on this is trash. The one on the back's sick. The one on the front's bad. He's got like these jeans and this like leather biker jacket. I really like the mask on this though, and I don't mind the jacket other than the spider logo on the front. The jeans aren't doing it for me. I wish he maybe would just had leather pants too. But overall, it's something different. It definitely gives a more tougher look to Spider-Man, and much more aged look. But I think the big turn on is the mask. I think the mask looks really sleek and cool, and the logo on the back looks sick. And he's got the whole buttoned up leather jacket part. It's not the most pleasant suit, but you know, it's definitely cooler than the ones below it on this list. Coming in at number 30, we got the Scarlet Spider 2 suit. I like the spider logo on the suit. I'm not a huge fan of the almost black color they opted for. Obviously, that's how it is in the comics, I know. I'm not a fan of the red lenses. I do love the eyes, I just don't like them red. And I wish there was a little bit more going on down here to the feet. There's just not enough contrast between the blue and the red. I wish kind of Insomniac would have maybe taken their own take on this suit. Or do something like have their own version and then have an edit style that's like the classic version. Because my issue with this suit is that there's just not enough of that contrast of the red and blue. It's just too much red. If the feet up to like the ankles were maybe red or maybe blue, I think it would be a lot better and help out the suit. Also, it would have been cool if maybe the blue extended down to his hands. That would have been sick. But yeah, that's definitely knocks some points off of the fact that it's so red and there's almost none of that blue aside from up here and on the fingers. So there's just not enough contrast. Next up on this list, we have the Cyborg Spider-Man suit. Now, what I wish they would have done for this suit, instead of just giving him this really over-designed arm, I really wish they would have made the cyborg arm look more like Sable Tech, rather than just this weird, random-looking cyborg arm that's way too over-designed. I don't like the yellow utility belt. Obviously, some Batman vibes. Not working for me. I love the little eyepiece he's got going on with the headband. That looks sick. Wish the headband would have came around the back instead of the side. That looks a bit strange. Also, there's just not enough cyborgness going on with this suit. It's just the one arm. And the rest of the suit just has cuts all over it. It just looks a bit strange. It doesn't really look like a natural battle damage. It just looks weird. And he's got this wrapping around his leg. Not the biggest fan of the way they went with this design. It's just it's the classic suit in this game, except it's just got all this extra stuff thrown on there. I feel like they could have gone in a better direction with it than what they ended up doing. Yeah, overall though, it's just not really working for me. If the arm would have been like the Sable Tech design and they got rid of the wrapping on the leg and the utility belt, it would have been a lot better of a suit. But the arm's just too over designed for me. But overall, it's a pretty badass look. Coming in at 28, we have the black and gold No Way Home suit. Now, I don't like this suit in the movie, and I definitely don't like it in the game. My main issue with this suit is the fact that it's just got all this wiring and computer garble all over it. If it was just a clean black and gold suit, I'd much prefer this suit, because obviously it's meant to be the inside-out version of the Far From Home suit. But I just wish that it was just a classic black with the gold. I feel like that would have been so much nicer of a design, not only in the movie but in the game. The eyes are perfect. I love Tom Holland's eyes. I don't like the spider logo. I've never liked Tom Holland's spider logo. It's too small. It's just way too small. I'm a big fan of I like the bigger Spider-Man logos rather than the really small ones. The gauntlet's cool, but it's just I don't like it in the movies. It just doesn't translate well to the game, in my opinion. But I do dig the black and gold, though. Coming in at 27, this one might be controversial. We have the 2099 Miguel O'Hara Spider-Man suit. This suit is not charming in this game at all. I do not like the material / texture look of the suit. It just looks very like rubbery, and it just looks like it was stretched over his skin. You can see every piece of muscle definition, and it's not doing it for me, man. I don't like the way they went with the design in this suit. I like the design in this Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, or the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game, was great. Do not like it in this. Wish they would have updated it for Spider-Man 2. Spoiler alert, they don't. Yeah, this suit's just not doing it for me, man. It's a cool design, obviously. I love the Miguel O'Hara 2099 suit. The Miles Morales one's so much better. But overall, though, it's again, a great look. Just I don't like the way they did it in this game with this whole rubbery, shiny look. It looks like he's wearing a gimp suit, man. It's just too much. Yeah, they kind of missed the ball with this one.